Putting things into perspective, the Caillou TV series was based off a series of children's books written by French-Canadian illustrator Hélène Despoutot and author Christine Leroux, starting in 1989. In 1997, the Cinar Corporation adapted the books into short 5-minute animated episodes for Teletoon in Canada. Come 2000, the series was brought to America with wraparound segments featuring puppets, songs, and live-action segments. The series would continue in different formats up until 2011, when Cookie Jar ceased production. In that time, the show began to gain a negative backlash from parents, teachers, and caregivers due to its poor morals and behavior of the main character.
Is that criticism well earned? In short, somewhat. Does this mean the entire show is virtually irredeemable? I think that's personally going a bit too far. Sometimes it's easy to outright hate something, but it's also lazy. Sometimes you have to dig deeper, closely examine the smallest details, and put yourself in the shoes of the creators before you can form an opinion, which is what I propose we do today. We'll take a closer look at the broader series, look where we can behind the series, and examine each era of the show to get a better informed opinion. With that said, strap in as we look into the world of Caillou and whether it's bad or just misunderstood.
The first season of Caillou episodes, which I hereby dub the Gray Shirt era, because Caillou wears a gray shirt in them, were directed by Cinar veteran animators Jean Pilote and Greg Bailey, both of whom worked on another PBS Kids series, Arthur. Animation was done at Shanghai Morning Sun Animation Company Limited, with compositing by Astrotech Incorporated in Montreal. Caillou in his first season was voiced by Bryn McCauley, who also lent her talents to other PBS Kids shows like George Shrinks and Anne of Green Gables. Other series voice actors include Marley Shapiro as the narrator, Jennifer Seguin as Mommy, Pat Fry as Daddy, and Bridget Tierney as Rosie. The second and third seasons, or the Yellow Shirt era, saw animation move to SMEC Media and Entertainment in Taiwan, and Bryn McCauley replaced by Jacqueline Linetsky, who would voice the character until her untimely passing in 2003, aged only 17. The fourth and fifth seasons moved to Flash Animation, directed by Nick Riegersberg, and produced by Guilty Kiwi and Pip Studios in Ottawa for the fourth season, and Oasis Animation in Montreal for the fifth season, plus co-production between Cookie Jar and South African company Clockwork Zoo. From here on out, Annie Bovaird would provide Caillou's voice. When coming to PBS Kids in 2000, each episode would include 4 Caillou stories wrapped around with puppet segments featuring Caillou's toys Teddy and Rexy, his cat Gilbert, and the backyard squirrel Dee Dee. In addition, there were live-action segments of kids exploring the world, music videos, and ending segments featuring characters from the series. In 2003, the PBS Kids episodes would have just one puppet segment, and the music videos would be set to Caillou animated clips, later to be done away with during the show's Flash era.
That's the brief rundown of the series' history. Now, high time we address the series' major controversies.
Heavy criticism against Caillou began to pop up during the 2010s, just as the original series was wrapping up its decade tenure on PBS Kids. Most notable was a joke during a 2014 episode of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO.
I would rather sit down with my niece and watch Caillou, a children's show about a bald Canadian child who lives a life devoid of any incident. Grow some hair and leave the house. Find out what the world's about. Come on.
From there, the vitriol increased, reaching a head in 2017, as seen in this HuffPost article. Main complaints about the series included how Caillou's voice was incredibly whiny and grating, how he never received any negative repercussions for his actions, and occasionally the episode morals were poorly thought out. Just look on YouTube for yourself to get an earful of what other people have to say.
Are their concerns unfounded? Well, I definitely understand some of the points of contention.
The first season definitely embodies many of these viewer complaints. Caillou is rarely disciplined, not even getting so much as a crossword or talking to from his parents. His voice, well, I think Bryn Macaulay in the first season wasn't too bad.
Baby wolves? Really? Wow.
Think Mommy's going to like her surprise bookshelf?
Oh, yes, Daddy.
As for Jacqueline Linetsky, although it's very tragic we lost her so soon, since she showed so much promise as an actress, Caillou definitely wasn't her best work. She gave a voice even whinier than what Bryn Macaulay did.
No, Gilbert, go away. When is the train coming, Mommy? I don't want to go to bed.
Annie Beauvard, well, probably a bit too grating in my mind.
Do you want to play bears with us? I can't, Clementine. I said I'd play spaceships with Xavier. Ah!
As for morals, well, the worst I could say is they're probably hit or miss. Talking of morals, the episodes often brought up include Big Brother Caillou. Caillou goes around the block, and Caillou joins the circus. Caillou does something worthy of disciplinary action in each episode, but nothing really happens to him. Not even a wrist slap.
The thing is, though, when PBS Kids had episodes brought over to US audiences, Big Brother Caillou and Caillou Goes Around the Block were smartly excluded. But even with some decidedly bad episodes, I can pinpoint some episodes throughout the series where, looking back, they weren't all that bad. Dare I say, some were even good.
Of the early years, one episode that springs to mind is Caillou's Getting Older. The episode starts out with Caillou and Daddy finding a dead bird in their backyard and burying it. Caillou's naturally curious as to why the bird died. Daddy doesn't know how to answer, so like many parents, he just gives a blunt answer of, "It got too old." As a consequence, Caillou gets nervous at hearing about getting older. Let's face it, when children are younger, death is a hard concept to grasp. It's tough to understand why people and animals die, and often intimidating too. The episode wraps up its moral pretty decently. Mommy and Daddy tell Caillou that he has a long time before he needs to worry about death, even demonstrating with his toys.
Which one is the oldest, do you think? And which one's the youngest? Teddy's the oldest?
Yes,
And he has lots and lots and lots of time to get older too, doesn't he?
just like me.
Yes, just like you.
It's no Mr. Rogers' level of explanation, but it's still pretty admirable in getting across its message. As another example, there's Caillou Grows Carrots. Caillou helps Grandpa plant a vegetable patch in his backyard, his job being to plant and look after the carrots. It takes a while, but soon a lovely crop of carrots are ready to be pulled. In this episode, the youngsters watching get an idea of how plants grow, how to look after them, and how to be patient. One phrase bookends the episode.
Caillou didn't really like vegetables, but he liked the idea of making a vegetable patch.
How many other children are there who dislike vegetables? Personally, I think aversion is in its part due to fear or just plain skepticism. Through planting, tending to the garden, seeing just how the vegetables are grown offers more comfort around vegetables for young viewers.
Although Caillou still didn't like vegetables, he thought his carrots tasted pretty good.
One episode that feels rather personal to myself is Caillou's school bus. Each day, Caillou sees the big yellow school bus taking the other children off to school, with Daddy taking him one morning to see the bus up close. When I was Caillou's age, I often saw the big yellow school bus each day as it dropped off my older brother from school. Like Caillou, I wondered myself what it would be like to ride on the bus, like many other children who would have watched this episode. How big the bus is, the hum of the diesel engine, all experiences I got to witness firsthand after my first day of school.
Thank you, Mr. Washington.
Goodbye, Caillou. Goodbye. See you after your next birthday.
There are plenty of other pretty good episodes, say Caillou and Daddy, Caillou at Daycare, Caillou Learns to Swim, etc. My point being, for every bad episode of Caillou, there is at least one other good episode. But when Caillou came to America, he didn't come alone. He brought along a few friends as well.
The original PBS Kids broadcast of Caillou included wraparound segments with puppets of Caillou's toys Rexy and Teddy and his cat Gilbert. These puppet segments tied into the main theme of a set of Caillou stories. be it when I get older, pets, summertime, or traveling. Character-wise, Rexy is somewhat of a proxy for Caillou. He is young and eager to learn. Teddy and Gilbert serve as the adults to Rexy's youthful naivete. Teddy used to belong to Caillou's daddy before being handed down to Caillou. He is older, but still wise and patient with Rexy. Gilbert is a little more uppity, having a penchant for writing odes and poetry, and although he is occasionally irritated by Rexy's antics, he still is willing to help him out from time to time. Rounding out the gang is the backyard squirrel Dee Dee. She serves as a friend and peer of Rexy. Often mischievous, but still fun. Even if the Caillou stories are among the bad batch, often the puppet segments would do their best to redeem the episode as a whole. Sometimes these puppet segments are, dare I say, insightful. Take for example the segments from the episode Knowing I'm Growing. Rexy is upset that he's not physically growing, until Teddy demonstrates how each day he grows mentally and emotionally by learning new things. Naturally, Rexy is very proud of this newfound growth until Dee Dee stumps him with a hard question.
For one thing, I know that squirrels like to live in trees.
Right.
Yeah.
But why?
Well, they don't like stairs.
I don't think so.
Afraid he's not growing anymore, he goes to Teddy for help, to which Teddy offers some comfort.
You didn't know something, and you asked a question. Asking questions makes you grow, too. When you hear the answer, you're learning again. Oh, so that's how it works.
They look up the answer to Dee Dee's question together and share it with her, and although she stumps Teddy with another question, he offers this gem of a line.
I don't know, but I know where we can find out. Hey, I'm still growing too.
It's an excellent lesson for the children watching, how you grow in different ways each day, and you never really stop growing or changing, even as an adult. These puppet segments would have other gems, such as Gilbert and Rexy helping Teddy look good as new for Caillou, Rexy being upset about not having a family of his own like Gilbert, Teddy, and Dee Dee, or just stories for fun like Rexy and Gilbert discussing transportation. Later, Caillou episodes would see a decreased role played by the puppets, only giving one song for them per episode.
The Caillou series was eventually retooled in 2006 with episodes produced in Flash animation. These episodes are usually pretty bland, but there are two of these episodes I would like to discuss.
Caillou the Dinosaur Hunter has Caillou and his family going to a museum to see dinosaurs. While being lost in Imagination Land, Caillou finds himself separated from his family. Instead of panicking, though, Caillou follows some very important rules while lost, staying where he was and avoiding talking to strangers. Let's face it, children may often get lost, but when they are lost, simple rules like these are paramount in helping parents find them safely. And then there's Caillou and the Dragon. A boy named Alan visits Caillou's play school. Although Alan is older than Caillou, he has trouble doing things Caillou and his friends can do, like using the playground or cleaning up after snack time. Nonetheless, Caillou still helps Alan where he can. Later in the day, Caillou and his friends put on a small play with Alan. Although Alan coming in as a dragon doesn't fit in with their story, Caillou finds a way to include Alan in the story, finding something Alan is very good at, pretending. Although not explicitly stated, it's implied through the episode that Alan has a learning disability, and a few nervous reactions from his mother seem to forward these implications. Children like Caillou may from time to time come across other children different from them, whether in ability or in development. Still, this episode shows that despite differences, children like Caillou and Alan can still play and have fun together.
So, I've been discussing Caillou quite a bit more than I thought I would be. What's the verdict?
It seems most of the controversy surrounding Caillou is surface level. Can he be whiny? Yes. Can he be bratty? Yes. Then again, what 4-year-old isn't from time to time? But what 4-year-old isn't curious about the world? What 4-year-old isn't still learning about the world around them? Honestly, for every bad Caillou episode, there's at least one other good or decent one. Even with bad episodes, the PBS Kids broadcasts include the puppet and real kid segments to do their best to overshadow these faults. And even if the show got blander as it continued, it still had great moments worth examining.
So is Caillou a really great show? No, not strictly speaking. Is it one of the worst shows ever made? Honestly, there is a lot worse you could show kids. In the end, the show is just okay. Nothing amazing, just okay. But what does everyone else think? Feel free to list your comments below, and please be civil with one another. But it's time once again to move on to the PBS Member Station Spotlight, as I draw a new station name from the beat-up Brody helmet. So the next station that we should look at will be... Well, we're heading up to the Great White North with Alaska Public Television.
Before Alaska had a statewide PBS network, the first public television station in the state was KUAC Fairbanks, operated by the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Originally, PBS programming on the station was transferred via a per-program model, but as broadcast difficulties decreased, their program schedule increased from 5 hours to a full 24. In 1975, KAKM Anchorage signed on as the state of Alaska's second public broadcasting station. KTOO Juneau signed on in 1978, then KYUK Bethel in 1981. In 1995, the Alaska One network was set up to broadcast PBS programming across Alaska, merging the operations of KUAC, KTOO, and KYUK. Alaska One operated for 17 years but officially dissolved in 2012. The network's corporate ownership voted to transfer operations from KUAC to KAKM. KUAC voted to remain its own separate entity, while KTOO and KYUK joined with KAKM to form Alaska Public Media. Programming for Alaska Public Media includes local programs such as Alaska Insight, Indie Alaska, and In My Family. Today, Alaska Public Media reaches out to over 54,000 Alaskans nightly, and KUAC offers programming for the University of Alaska and the city of Fairbanks. If you are in Alaska, you can tune in to Alaska Public Media on these stations: KAKM Channel 7 with Create, 360 North, and PBS Kids on its digital sub-channels, KTOO Channel 3 with Create and 360 North, and KYUK with the Alaska Rural Communications Service and 360 North. KUAC Fairbanks is available on Channel 9, with World on the .2 channel, Create on .3, First Nations Experience on the .4, PBS Kids on the .5, KUAC FM on the .6, and 360 TV on the .9 channel.
Thank you to everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, do all that random YouTube stuff, but also don't forget to support your local PBS stations, so more programming tangentially related to Caillou can find its way to your television screens. And until next time, I'm Captain Rutledge. Good day.
Gotta go!